I'm alive.
We're live.
We're back.
Easy.
All three of us this time. All right.
Episode 14.
Yes, sir. We've made
Let's
it so
go.
far.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14, as we said before. And this episode being the topic focusing on time travel, the ethical, unethical, or neutral viewing to see if it's possible, and if it is, how exactly dangerous is it in our own hands?
Yeah.
I just want to know
If we
that.
had the ability to time travel, would it be dangerous? Would it be a dangerous thing?
in my
100%.
in my
I'd say
Especially in
hands,
the wrong
yes.
hands.
In a new state, it would be dangerous. Absolutely.
In my hands, yes.
In your
100%.
hands?
What would you do, Matthew? Huh?
What are you doing with that,
I would
Matthew?
go to the future, go to every single release date of video games and movies, and go buy it, and bring it back and watch it.
So wait, what's the danger?
You wouldn't sell it? Would you sell it? Or nah, you'd just be the consumer type guy.
I'll be the consumer type
Consumer?
of guy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, if I really hate it, like maybe I'll blackmail the company and be like, look what I got. Or better yet, I just take the product and I sell it on my own.
Imagine showing the company a game they haven't even started developing yet. Just be like, yeah, I got this game.
Yeah, it's
Got
fan.
it by
It's,
you.
it's,
it
it's,
sucks.
it's fan made.
yeah.
It's a fan made
I like
game.
That, I like that.
Oh yeah, and then you can get all the credit for it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you could just claim it as yours because they haven't even started development
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
Money making.
I just get rid of the credits.
Because the main thing that I think about in time travel is I would go back in time. And this is really basic, and I'm sure many people discuss it. I'd go back in time, invest in Bitcoin.
Oh,
Easiest way of getting rich. Easiest way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Travel
easily.
to 2004,
Easily.
put in your entire life savings, and then you know you're getting rich.
mm.
So, light work.
I mean,
That's pretty much it.
that's everyone's go-to
Yeah,
type of
exactly.
thing. Like,
Everyone thinks to get rich straight away.
yeah, 100%. Like, oh, Google, Moogle.
Just
Has it?
alter it.
Yeah, like Matthew, Google, bam, Moogle.
Google.
Yeah, I like that.
Actually, kind of
I'd
sounds
rock
like a
with Moogle.
catchy.
How
Or
about Google?
Google, yeah,
Well, it's
Google.
like, well, you know, they do use like Google.
Google.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. That should definitely be like the name of like a porn site or something. Like Google.
what the hell is on
Well,
your?
because it would
Elaborate.
be because it's an alteration of Google, but it's Google.
Yeah.
So like you search for things on Google,
It'll be like its own
and then you
search
search
engine.
for
Yeah.
more explicit things on Google.
Hang on, wait, would it be Jogle? Jogle.
Well,
I came
actually,
up with
fair
it.
enough, because the O is still there.
The O is still there.
So it could,
It's
actually, it could
Jogle.
be Jogle, Jugal. It'd be like, I don't know.
What do you mean the O's still there? As in
Because
what for us?
Google has two O's.
Yeah, so Google.
You know, it'd be Jugal, but like depending on some.
Okay,
like,
let's get
countries,
back on topic
Jogle.
here. We're going off topic here.
Yeah, fair enough.
But either way, welcome to episode 14. If you want to go see our other content in previous episodes, you can go on our Instagram at instagram.com/dot the clarity conference to look up our previous
Like, I
episode.
thought it was the
The dot clarity conference.
yeah.
To look up previous episodes, weekly updates, little posts here and there we do. But yeah, time travel. Though you two,
Yes.
how exactly did you guys find out time travel? Like, found out what it was,
Mm.
media, social media, science, history class, anything like that? How did you guys find out the concept of it?
Well, I don't know if it's like I mean, Back to the Future was probably one of the first huge introductions of not introductions, but like I guess the first mainstream
Representation.
representation, that's the word, of like time travel and the fact that like it could potentially be a thing. I still, by the way, side note, I still think the DeLorean is one of the sexiest cars.
It is a nice car.
I've
It is a
seen.
very nice car.
But
At best, it's going to get you 88 miles an hour.
not if you hot it up.
That's fair.
Anyway,
For me, yeah, I think. Okay, here's the thing. I've never actually watched the movie.
Get
but-
out. Get out.
Sorry, I've never watched it.
No, have you
watch
seen
Back
the
to
movie Get Out?
Oh, I just haven't seen that. I've heard of it though.
Well, I don't think it would
would
apply
say-
to him, but
It would- so yeah, I think Back to the Future, that like was one of the defining points where I found out about it, and also YouTube, because when I was younger, even now, still I watch a lot of like science videos that just pop up randomly, you know, where they just explain random things, and I remember like time travel being there, and I was really interested when I was younger.
Mm.
So I would say a bit of YouTube, but mainly movies, I'd say.
Yeah, no, same here. Like,
Yeah,
my
same.
exposure to time travel has either been Books or movies?
Books.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I didn't
can't
think, yeah.
get the exact type of book. I know I have seen it in books growing up, especially like, whoa, like, it's like that character, like a kid's book where it's like a little mouse guy with the glasses and everything. Oh, I can't remember.
I don't know. I might have been too young. Me,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Wait, mouse guy with the glasses.
Yeah, and like he goes on. Yeah, it's like
Stuart Little. or
no, not
something,
Stuart Little, but it's
We're
something.
both time traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember
No,
the concept
I don't
of
even
it.
watch Stuart Little.
But
Now, I was like this series of books I used to watch as a kid, read as a kid, to like try and tick off my little book.
Premier's Reading Challenge.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
get the
it.
medal.
oh my god,
That is a
Remember those
memories.
days were crazy.
I was gonna ask you guys. So, do you think in reality that it's possible?
Yes, I think,
I think definitely.
we have time travel right now.
Do we?
Oh,
Yeah, you know
Well,
what?
we-
in
Well,
what
I mean-
regard? In what regard?
Okay, hear me out. Ready?
Yep.
You go to a country's border.
Matthew.
Shush. Hear me out.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, fair boy.
You go to a country's border. Step over the line back and forth. Time travel.
I mean, he's not wrong. Okay,
He's
like
not wrong.
technically,
Yeah, the time
that's
zone would be
correct.
11
different.
o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. If you
Oh
think
my
about
God.
it, it's time travel.
it is time travel.
Yo,
Time
Okay,
travel
right, if I
is a
search-
subjective
in the most
thing.
simplest
Oh,
form.
let me get the definition of time travel, like the definitive definition. Travel through time into the past or the future.
There you go. Time travel.
It is. It is.
We've all-
time travel.
If you got on a plane or you cross country, you're a time traveler. You go to Melbourne from Adelaide. Okay, bam. 9 o'clock here,
But
9:30 there.
but you're not actually going like you're not going into a different time into the past or the future.
I'm going to the future if
But
I
you-
go to Melbourne. I'm half an hour in the future.
No, because then how can you make Oh no, you can make phone calls from the future. What am I talking about? Oh, what's
Bug.
that? Oh, what the
Delicious.
okay, yucky. No.
Do
don't worry,
you think
my point.
that it's possible?
Well, see, I don't like. I haven't really like looked into it, so I mean, anything's possible. So like, I
Especially
don't know.
with the recent development in AI,
Yeah,
that has to contribute to it somehow.
somehow there's got to be like AI will probably with those quantum computers as well would easily be able to find out whether time travel is possible or not.
Because sorry, gone.
No, you go.
Thank you. In regards to like quantum, there's this website where scientists discovered that in a quantum like simulation, they could. Oh, let me just get the website up here.
I was just with
They could-
astronauts and such.
Yeah, stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? They could speed up, slow down, or reverse the flow of time in a quantum system.
What?
Yeah.
So
Do
that's
you know about
pretty
that?
interesting to see.
Like when astronauts go out in outer space for the space stations, they have to like regulate
Oh,
in
no
time.
kidding! I completely like forgot about the whole concept of like time difference and stuff
Was it-
like.
Oh,
in
but not
space.
only that,
Wait,
though,
so
I
like,
don't
just
think,
it was
but
a
I don't
whole
think
separate.
that's. I don't think that's got anything to do with going to the past or the future or
That
anything
is
like that.
technically a form of time travel because it's like space or time dilation.
Yeah, that's the word, dilation. Yeah.
Yeah, time dilation, where like obviously you have to spend like a significant amount of time in space in like the space stations or a lunar base or something of the sorts, but like a certain amount of time here is like
Like an interstellar.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
or-
do you think it is possible? Like, because like I guess the actual like definition of time traveling is going from like the only way to sort of like test if it's a thing is by time traveling to the same spot in the
50
the
years
exact
earlier.
same
Mm.
so like traveling to the same spot, whereas like I feel like going to space, like obviously time's
Yeah, but
different
it's
there,
not
but it's not really
in
like
the
a
same
time
yeah.
you're not really like time traveling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like in that area, that's where like the time is slowed down. But in this area, the time's always the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if the only way to really test it is by being able to time travel to the exact same spot that you are now,
Let me
like in the past or the future, and then that like
Yeah, that would essentially like
Okay.
Yeah, no.
let me answer your
your
question.
concept of time. Sorry, like just before you go, your concept of time, your perception of time has changed when you're in space, but not time itself. I feel like Like I feel like I don't really know how to put it, but I feel like you perceive time as going a lot slower
Well,
as what
it's not
the
that it
people
is
on
going
Earth perceive
slower.
it to be like.
It is.
Well, but at the
actually
same
going
time, though,
slower.
because of time dilation, though, like is going slower.
It is going slow because they have
But I know what you mean, though, like in regards to the different states.
Yeah.
If you look
Like-
up at the people who spend like months or even years on like space stations, like, and they have like their own watch that they've set before landing, and then after they land, there is a difference of time.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll answer your question with another question, Joe. Do you know like I think his name's Neil Armstrong? Like, yeah, the guy. who
So the
went to
guy that
moon.
lost his testicle.
yeah,
No, who is that? Is that him?
No,
Joe, give it back.
No,
no,
who's the guy that lost his testicle?
I have no idea. What
Yeah,
you're
no,
on.
I swear it's a guy called Neil Armstrong.
Or like
Are you looking up Neil Armstrong lost
Armstrong.
testicle?
Yeah.
Well, the guy who went on the moon, the first person who went on the moon.
I swear he lost a testicle. I've heard
Okay.
that.
Oh,
I-
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think his dad, Neil Armstrong, he was alive. My God, this is such going off.
What
topic.
did his
Either way,
dad do with his testicle?
Buzz Armstrong, whatever his name is, the guy, first person on the moon. His dad was alive when the first airplane was ever invented by the White brothers, and in that same period, in his lifetime, he saw the first airplane ever invented to the first rocket ship to take man to space. In what, like 50 years or so?
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
That span in 50 years, we went from a paper plane to sending someone on the moon, and now we're up to this period. And it's like that thing where like technology or the advancement of technology doubles.
Yeah,
every-
it's exponential.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
keeps growing, and it gets to a point where it becomes unstoppable, almost in a way.
I feel like we're reaching that state now, or we're very close to.
Mm.
That's just how I feel.
Because you seen the graph where it goes like it goes off
It-
slow, and then it like
And
doubles.
then, like you said, with
and then it
each
just
development,
I'm out of the loop here. Wait, what graph of what? What was?
I don't know the name of the specific graph, but there is a graph where it shows like I guess the flow of technological advancement, where it starts off with like, let's say the airplane, computers, it
It's
goes
like
flat.
slow, yeah.
And then as we go for the most recent years, it quadruples and doubles and gets to the point where it goes, instead of going like upwards in a curved line, it just goes whoosh, up.
because with each advancement,
yes, makes it
it
easier.
makes it easier for the next. So then that's why legit.
Yeah.
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 And then I reckon like over these next 10, 20 years,
That's
because
what I
of
mean.
AI,
It's unreal.
like really, we've all heard artificial intelligence for the past 5, 10 years.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
But
pretty big.
really, it's only been really influencing our everyday life since probably like last year.
Yeah, like November last
I
year.
mean, you know, maybe AI has been influencing our life, which it probably has, like, I don't know, in the past 5, 10 years that we don't really realize. But now people are starting to realize how it's really affecting our lives directly.
Yeah, that's true.
I think maybe
That's-
before it was like affecting our lives indirectly, or just it was doing it like with our unbeknownst to us, right?
Mm.
But now, only just recently, especially with Chat GPT, and all those other artificial intelligent bots, I guess,
Yep.
and quantum computing as well.
yeah,
Shout out to our previous
everything's
episode.
crazy.
Huh?
Shout out to our previous episode on
Yeah.
artificial
Yeah,
intelligence.
that's-
Yeah, that's a really good episode, guys. Check that out.
Just
But,
for clarification, we're not experts.
We're not
just
experts at all. We're just like everyone
we're-
else.
we
and-
Yeah.
are 3 random dudes, 2 people with average IQ, 1 below.
Which
Okay,
one is it?
Yeah, I was about to say.
let's not say who, because
Wait.
that person's feelings might get hurt.
Okay.
No.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, we're just here trying to make sense of some stuff.
Exactly.
You know, we all know Matthew's feelings would get hurt. Oh, I'm kidding.
Well,
No, I'm kidding,
at least I'm the
kidding.
only one here with a unique name besides Joe. Then Joe.
Yeah, no, fair point.
No,
yeah.
that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
the average Joe.
Yeah,
I
that's,
didn't
that's
let's see,
unfortunate.
like Joe didn't have a high enough IQ to name himself something different, so he just went
Yeah.
with what he
Remember
could-
the basic.
yeah, he just went with the basic Joe like me.
Yeah, we'll call you Joseph from now on.
Hell no. Hell no.
You can't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, but either way, with time travel and everything and going on, would you guys like know about like time travel paradoxes and everything?
Yes,
Well,
I'm very familiar
Yeah, I
with them.
mean, yeah, definitely. Like with well, we just watched a video actually on the grandfather paradox.
Mm.
Where like, what was it? You know what? You'd explain it a lot better because you
Yeah,
probably
yeah, it was-
understand it a little bit better.
So from the grandfather paradox is basically I'm born, I live my life, I invent a time machine. I go back in time, find my grandfather, kill my grandfather's dead. My father's dead. I'm not born. I can't invent a time machine. I can't go back to in time to kill my grandfather. And you can see the problem right there, why it can't work.
Yeah.
Because if I kill my grandfather if I go back in time to kill my grandfather, then I'm not born in order to make the time machine to go back to kill my grandfather.
Yeah. So then you can't kill your grandfather.
Exactly.
But then how does it work?
Exactly.
It's a paradox.
Has it ever been
doesn't.
like
There
well,
is
I guess it can't really be solved, but has it ever been some form of progression in solving?
There has been recently an Australian student, a university student, who had solved, I believe, the bootstrap grandfather, or I think predestination paradox. It's one of the two. No, not predestination.
What's predestination paradox?
Predestination paradox is, let's say you're in school, you learn about M equals MC squared or something. Okay, Einstein. You invent a time machine, or you use a time machine to go back to meet Einstein before he comes up with that equation. You show him the equation and the theory work and the explanation. And because you showed him the equation and the theory work, he writes that theory work, which later in centuries' time teaches you. But then you go back in time to teach him. So at that point, that information, where's that information points of origin? Because it can't be you, because you learnt it from Einstein.
But it can't be Einstein
because
because
he learned it from you.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, I haven't heard about that theory.
And then
Paradox, I mean.
So like with these in mind, like how can time travel like really work?
so I think that's the bootstrap paradox. Predestination is the one where
like obviously there's a point in time that already exists, so like it's sort of confirmed that you're going to end, that there's predestination because there's already another time that exists. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Hang on.
The one that you just said is bootstrap. That's bootstrap. Yeah.
Yes. Predestination is someone going back in time to stop something from happening or doing
it's
something.
like the Hitler one that people always talk about.
Yeah, Hitler murderer's paradox, where you go back in time to try and kill Hitler, but then how do you go back to time? You okay there, mate?
This beanbag setup I got going, man, it's fucking shit. Oh mate, it's hurting my back. I'm trying. This is our makeshift lounge for now until we actually buy one.
Try harder.
Try harder.
But
Give
yeah.
me my money.
Tell him, bring me my
But
money.
yeah, the theory is, how do you go back in time to kill Hitler if Hitler was dead and he never becomes an influential person to begin with and a famous person, let alone? So then you'll never...
You would have never thought of going back in time to kill Hitler.
Yeah,
because-
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's also ethics you have to consider in that, right? So let's just say you go back in time and kill Hitler when he was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Is that evil of you because he was a baby? Because, right, you know what he did, he ended up doing. But obviously, if you kill him at that point when he's a baby, no one knows what Hitler would have done. You just killed a baby.
This
And
is
is
like
that
the most.
evil?
This is the most controversial topic in ever because people, yeah, I reckon like 50% of people would say like they'd go back and kill him because of what he's done, but then the other 50% of people would say it would be an evil thing. Which, you know what, like for me, I'll answer that.
I don't like how we did the same leg movement at the same
What
time.
the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was sus. The
We're in
Matrix is
simulation. Potential
simulation.
episode.
Yeah, that's a
So-
good one. Yeah, I'd say like I wouldn't go back. Well, because like at the same time, humanity learnt like valuable lessons. I'm not saying it was a good thing, and I'm not
Exactly.
saying that.
Heart transplants.
Yeah, actually, Matthew's
that's
discussed
right,
this. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like humanity learned a lot of things about letting or just being more careful with who they let into power and knowing the signs of those sorts of people. And also I don't know, I swear like it made some sort of like big discovery in psychology as well, and how like the psychology of
Yeah, because
narcissists works. And
Freud studied
Yeah.
him.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
Sigmund
that's
Freud.
where I got it from.
Freud?
Yeah,
Freud?
yeah, Freud.
yeah,
Freud.
yeah.
What's his first name?
Sigmund.
That's it, Sigmund Freud. And yeah, he sort of studied like how his brain worked and stuff, and why he ended up being the way he was, and that was
Yeah.
due to his childhood, like mostly.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I can't remember if he said he had like a mental illness or anything.
Yeah, I don't
but
remember either.
yeah, he was very like he was very narcissistic, and
Pretty sure it was very obsessive as well. I'm pretty sure with
and he had some weird fetishes apparently.
Really?
Yeah, like weird
Oh, I haven't
fetishes.
heard
Like
about that.
he liked people like pissing on him.
Where do you
Hold on
find
now, buddy.
look it up. Look it up.
I don't
look
want
it up.
I
to.
want to look it up.
Look at it.
I don't want that on my search
What do-
history.
what do I
Hitler
search?
getting pissed on. Make sure it's in images. Make sure it's in images.
No, but yeah, speaking on everything and that,
No, but we're just saying like before we wrap up that bit,
yeah,
like people learn, like this. I guess the signs of a more influential narcissist and how powerful they can really be if you let them be like that. So, what narcissists are really good at is disguising as somebody who's really competent and knows what they're doing, because they're so egotistical that they're so confident in their own ability to run things and to operate things that they one second that
I have a
Matthew's
question.
raising his hands.
I have a question.
That they think that they know what they're doing, so they've convinced themselves, and so they're easily able to convince other people because of their confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Matthew.
May I speak, teacher?
Yes.
I'm
Matthew?
sorry. I was doing some research and getting some documents on my phone. I forgot my laptop.
Yeah.
How did we get from killing baby Hitler to this?
Well, because we were talking about killing baby Hitler, and then we we're saying
Yeah, whether
about
it's
how
ethical.
people learned a lot about Hitler. So, and like I guess just like the human brain and psychology and behavior and all that from him, using him as an example. So like I was saying about how it affects the discovery of things in psychology and how we learn a lot, you know?
Well,
Would you, Matthew, go
well,
back and kill him?
well, the thing is, even if I do go back to kill him, things will stay the same. Because have you guys heard about the Australian?
Mother dickhead will come up and kill a bunch of
Yes.
students.
Yeah, because have you guys heard about the Australian students that made a theoretical probability to solve time travel paradoxes?
No.
Yeah, this is what I was looking up, and then I tuned back in, and you guys talk about nihilism, and I was like, what? But pretty much a 4th-year Bachelor of Advanced Science student, German Tilbel, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, investigating the possibility of time travel under the supervision of his UQ physicist teacher, has claimed have solved a paradox-free time travel. As he goes on and saying that, for example, if I know the current position and velocity of an object falling under the force of gravity, I can calculate where it will be at any time. And he goes forth explaining his theory, his outcome, and his reasoning and his theory. And he uses COVID-19, for example. So if I go back in time to prevent patient 0 for COVID-19, that means I would no longer know about COVID, can't go back in time, and everything will be changed.
So like how does that actually like work though? Like, do we just say that
I'm not done
time
yet.
travel like can't exist?
No. I'm just.
Oh, sorry. I thought you finished your.
No, I was just seeing
sorry.
if you guys were following along still.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
no.
So
I'll
yeah.
follow.
So basically, the theory is going that time travel is more like a river. You can throw a puddle, it ripples, goes, but it'll keep going no matter what. And basically, it's saying that if I go back in time to stop patient 0, something will happen that will cause someone else to become patient 0, or I will become patient 0 because I'm interacting with the patient 0, so forth, or something along the lines. Yes, peace.
That's it.
I lost my king. Oh no.
Oh, is that your king?
I lost my king.
Game over, buddy.
Gone.
But yeah, and using that same theory or logic from this Australian student, who is a lot more smarter than me, same theory applies to, like, for example, Adolf in like 1945, World War II. You get rid of him, someone else with that same amount of bitterness will come up and just replace him. It's something that you replace one person, someone else takes the place.
So yeah, no
Hmm.
matter like what goes on, I feel like you sort of just have to leave time as it was.
Because I was going to say, in response to my own question, I probably wouldn't go back in time
Yeah.
and kill him either. Because not only what you said in regards to we've learned from it, but I do feel like it is unethical to just change the past in general. Even if it was a really bad event, I don't think we should.
Because
Because
then
it's like the past is the past, and it's kind of how it's meant to
and
be.
who are you to say
Just-
that you stopping that event would make the future better?
Yeah, it could make it
Like it
much
could
worse.
make it worse. You know, like for example, use my example for example, right?
Yeah.
Use what I said earlier about how like we wouldn't have learnt about well, maybe we would have, maybe we wouldn't have, but
Yeah, but
who's to say that we would have or wouldn't have learnt more about psychology and human behavior with or without Hitler? You know what I mean?
Correct,
Like
yeah.
we don't know this, so I think things are a lot bigger than we may like make them seem in our own heads.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know, you can't just go and think you're gonna like unless you know all of the facts of something and you know 100% that this is gonna make a better future by doing what you're doing, like by going back in time and fucking with time, then you know there's no way you can say with confidence that you should go back in time and
so it's unethical.
and it's I
Yeah.
think so, and it's I think I've added too many words to that, but yeah,
No, it's valid.
Yeah, we ramble on. It's
that's it, man.
it's-
It's just part of the podcast.
yeah, exactly. Just rambling,
Yeah,
idioms and just idiocracy. I
yeah,
can't
pretty much.
speak. But yeah. So you would say it's unethical. Would you say so as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I think it's more of a neutral force. I think it can be unethical and it can be ethical in many different ways. For example, I go to the future, I find out the cure for cancer, I bring it back. Okay, and that's if like the most simplistic way to say it without trying to like start a paradox or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you saying like, leaving out the concept of paradox in general?
It disregard paradoxes, pretend like exactly back.
You
to
can
the
just
future.
go in time and do something and come back, and it won't affect it unless you want to.
Yeah, it's just an
want to.
alternate time stream at that point.
Okay, then yeah, in that case, I see that would be
Mm.
definitely like ethically,
Yeah.
moral.
But then,
yeah.
but time travel as we see it now, affect like realistically, it would affect a lot of things. So with that in mind, would you say it would be ethical or unethical?
Well, the thing is, a lot of this is hypothetical.
Okay,
So-
but what we're saying is like what we think we know about paradoxes and time travel at this moment. Would you say it's ethical to do it anyway, with thinking that paradoxes exist?
I think it depends what you do. So
Okay.
I will say it's still neutral. It can be ethical and unethical.
So, like, what would be an example of something that would be ethical and would be okay to do in a time travel situation?
me going back in time appropriate clothing, accents, mannerisms, going to the supermarket?
Will there be another version of yourself though?
It depends how far back I go. Before I was born, don't interact with anyone. Just enjoy the view. I'd be that like sad, lonely grandpa in the park feeding the birds.
I mean, as much as we don't know about paradoxes and stuff like that, I feel like even just like interacting with any individual, like, as long as nobody knows, like you stay off the grid when you go back in time and like you don't interact with a single person, nobody sees you, then I think you remove that risk of.
I mean, have you seen the TV show Loki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
good show.
That's
Good
such
show.
a good show.
You
One
know
of
the
my favorites,
part,
I think.
whole thing about time travel. You know the part of the scene where you meet all the different versions, spoiler alert, all the different versions of Loki, and you meet like classic Loki who's like old and who survives Thanos?
Yeah.
And like the only reason why he didn't get like erased from the timeline was because he went to a deserted planet that had no life, no nothing. He stayed there for 30 years. And the only reason why he got eradicated from the timeline is because he wanted to leave and meet people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think it's ethical. You don't change anything historically or major. You just do your own thing, go back in time. And here's the thing, okay? We're assuming as if the universe is some grand cosmic being that if we go back in time and change something, it's automatically going to be like, oh yeah, this happened, and then it automatically corrects itself
Yeah.
as if it's a super smart computer.
Good point. Good point.
We're assuming that that's what's going to happen, not like we go back in time and then we go back and we just in a void or some chaos, storm, tornadoes, physics, everything, black holes.
We don't know
bam.
enough. We don't know enough to say, like, for sure that it's ethical or unethical.
Yeah, because we could,
Because
with
we
what
don't
you
know.
were saying, you could go back in time, change something, but then I guess all like the whole future is then eradicated, and then it just continues from where you are.
Yeah,
So
because at that point, your past becomes your present,
correct.
and then your future becomes your past or something.
Guys, okay, at the end of the day, don't fuck with time.
Yeah, don't
let it
fuck-
be,
Yeah,
man.
let it be. That's
Let
why they
it be.
say
The risk
let the
is too
past be the
high.
past.
The risk is too high.
I'm curious. Speaking before, paradox-free everything. Paradoxes don't exist. If you can pick one historical event, what would you change and why?
Shit.
We'll have to
Yeah, but-
change,
yeah,
or is it
yeah,
something I
yeah,
could
like-
just do?
It's something
Yeah,
you-
because I was
something
gonna
you can
say, if
change
you
or
change-
do.
Yeah, but if you change it, what would be the motivation for changing it unless it changes the future? Like, why would I
but
go
like, what if
back
there's
and
just
change
something
it?
like you want to just do or see?
Like you
Like,
want
oh,
to
yeah,
just
something
that,
you want-
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
but like, no, I don't think like I would go back and change anything. I would more so just
You're more
like,
of
if
a
it didn't
future guy.
affect-
Are you more of a future guy? You'd go to the future.
yeah, see some 3-titty aliens.
no. I don't want to know. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't want to know what is the future for me. But if I go forward in time, like after I die, sort of thing,
Mm.
and see that would be pretty cool to
Yeah.
like see what life would be like after I pass away. So I think
Like that.
I don't know. Would you guys go in the future or the past?
I think it depends on my mood. It's kind of like going on an overseas trip to like Hawaii, Europe, America.
Would you go to Hawaii in the future or the past?
I feel like the past because I know more about it than the future. I don't want to teleport myself into the future where I step out the time machine and then I choke to death because there's radiation fallout from a nuclear
Fair
bomb.
point. That's actually a good point.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, here's the thing in regards to me wanting to go to the past or future. I would love to go into a future where it's like completely cyberpunk type vibes. You know what I mean?
You don't know that though.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
know,
thing.
like, I don't know that, but at the same time, I feel like realistically, I would go back in time to feudal Japan. I love feudal. I'm fascinated
I'm
by
totally
feudal
with
Japan.
you.
It's so
Keanu Reeves
beautiful.
and 47 Romans? Ronins.
I haven't seen it,
How have you not?
Wait, what's this?
but
What
I
is
would
it?
go back in time.
Ronins. 47 Ronins.
That?
A Ronin is someone who was a former samurai, but they disgraced themselves. So it's kind of
Ah.
like, think of anti-hero samurai, basically.
It's
Yeah,
typically the
yeah.
ones that wear straw hats. Typically, not always.
Yeah, so like they're the ones that
Oh.
defied like the rules of being a samurai, I guess, or the ethics, I guess.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
More
feudal
blacklisted.
Japan,
it's like
Hmm.
it's like a respect thing.
though. Yeah, yeah.
Like if they defy like respect aspect of
Yeah, I would go to feudal Japan, I would say.
I feel like you'll be killed.
No, because
just
I
for the
know
s-
some things though, like it would help me a decent amount.
Yeah, but they're gonna see you and they're gonna be like, "We're not the same."
Yeah, no, exactly. There are those risks and
they would
everything.
instantly like probably because they probably think you're an invader or something.
Yeah.
Mm. And you're speaking a whole different language. You're wearing different clothes. Okay, are you going in clothes from that study period? Study
Study
period.
period. Bro's,
Time.
bro, we're in holidays, man. Come on, forget it.
Time period, or are you gonna bring like something like, "Here's a gun"?
That'd be pretty cool if I just
Pull
bring
up.
it to
pull
the
up with a gun.
emperor. Just be like, yo man, I got you. Hand him an M4. Next time the Mongols come, you go, man, they're covered. They're strapped.
Hey, look, there's gonna be a bunch of tornadoes. Okay, you'll be safe.
Yeah, exactly. You
Except for
just-
this island right here.
Yeah. Yeah, so where would you boys travel?
Um,
I feel like the French Revolution. Just to see
Interesting.
just to see chaos, destruction, and democracy at the same time. Like the one event that probably kickstarted democracy in all of Europe.
I know this is kind of like plain and like boring.
Actually, I take
But-
back what I said.
Oh,
I would go back in time to see the crucifixion of Jesus.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah,
You would confirm whether or not it's
Damn.
real. You'd be able to confirm.
I would go back in time, see Jesus. He looks at me and he says to me, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah, because realistically, you would expect that Jesus would know. Like, you know what I mean, type thing. Like, you would expect it.
Exactly.
now I think this one's boring because I can't think of any other cool ones.
Yeah, because you're not a history nerd like us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really study history that much, but one time that I would love to visit if it had no effects on anything in the future, like if I was like a ghost, basically, pretty much, I would love to just go back to like 60s, 70s, 80s. I know it's not that far, but I would have loved to experience the culture, the
That's
music,
I like that.
the disco.
Segregation.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, don't clip that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go back to experience that. I don't even. Was that a thing more in the 80s though?
Like
did they-
60s.
Yeah, it was more like
70s,
60s. Yeah,
It's still prominent.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
still there, but
there was still a lot
like,
more racism than nowadays. But
Yeah,
um,
but the
anyway,
laws were like abolished. Morris, there were still like laws there. But
yeah.
It
So you guys know the
very
history
bad.
more than me, but I'd love to like just go back and like experience the nightlife in the 60s, 70s, 80s. You
Like
know
the
what I really?
jazz
Oh,
and, like,
I was
the
just about to
jazz
say that.
clubs.
I would
Meet
love
Jeffrey
to visit-
Dahmer.
I would
Matthew's twisting this.
Bro, yeah, what the hell, man? You're just making me seem like a bad guy. No, I love like the vintage like clothing. I love
Mhm.
the clothing style. Just the music back then. Like even now, like I listen to a lot of 80s like synthwave type of music, and it's awesome.
Yeah, like
I love
ABBA.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, ABBA, yeah,
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, no, I know exactly. The jazz clubs, the whole just vibe would be so sick.
yeah.
I get that.
So, yeah, I think definitely like jazz clubs where you just pull up in suits. Like I've just heard from my parents and grandparents that they used to just like
Back in the
rock up
mud.
to jazz clubs, with the do 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 do, like
Plus a good
where
one.
pull up in like suit. I saw my nonno, a photo of my nonno with a cigar, legs crossed like this. One, so for the listeners, just the leg crossed over, right,
ASMR.
and and a cigar
So
in his mouth,
tough.
and he had
That
this
is
mustache,
tough.
and he was wearing a suit, and he's like just sitting there like a gentleman. And
Prime
those,
masculinity.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Those times, like, I feel like I just, I don't know, just I feel like they're better than like the new age. I feel like,
Yeah,
My
I feel
person.
like you say that because you just know what happens in that time.
what do you mean?
Because
Because like I know like how it is now, and I know how people talk about those times, and like everything was better back then. Do we argue that? Not really. We don't really argue that this new age is better.
yeah, because we weren't there to experience it.
That's
Yeah.
right. And they were here. They've experienced both the new age and the old age, and I mean, I know they're used to the old way of things, and that's why it's a bit more harder for them
it's
to
more
change.
like reminiscing.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think they just like my parents always say, like this thing was better back then, or
but
things were a lot better back then, with politics and all that,
I mean,
so
Because it's interesting. Because in
mean,
the future, when we're like 50 or 60, we'll probably reminisce about the 2020s and be like, "Damn, it was so much better back then."
yeah, and then,
Or we could have said we had it rough back then. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because who knows what it would be.
we
like
survived
2060.
World War III, a epidemic.
World War Three.
Yeah, what's it like? Okay,
Yeah,
not to
it's
sound like
pandemic.
a not to sound
It's
like a bum.
pandemic.
What's the difference between an epidemic and pandemic?
Pandemic, I think, is the whole world, and epidemic is like continent. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because wasn't it at the beginning like the Wuhan like epidemic or something, China epidemic at the beginning of COVID?
Something like that.
But then
I'm
when it
not
was
an
global, it
expert.
was pandemic.
I'm an average.
Yeah, epidemic
Joe here.
is smaller scale.
There
and
you go.
Yeah,
pandemic's-
so I mean, you'd assume like pandemic, like it pans out to
Pans
the rest of
out,
the world,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. And then epic is like epic.
No,
describing it like it breaks
it's not
out. You're
even
like,
epic,
yes,
bro.
yes.
That's not even the word. That's stuff. It's not epic. You know what? You confuse me. It's
Yeah, it's like
epidemic.
epidemic, yeah.
Yeah, epi.
I have that effect on people.
Just gaslighting them into thinking that's how you say it.
100%. Though I changed my answer yet again on what I would do if I go back in time. You know what? I would go back in time and prevent the assassination of Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar's my guy.
Yeah, I would just go back before I go back to time. I take Latin classes to learn Latin, and be like to my Latin teacher, "Yo, just teach me to say,
Yo.
hey, yo, don't trust Brutus." Okay,
And he'll be like, what are you talking? And just
Yeah.
be like, no, tell me, please.
go to the Senate. Bam, 50 guys start rushing him. MK. Just obviously I'm
Line 'em up.
Australian, so there's no way I'm ever gonna get access to that.
Hey, but you got a time travel machine, so surely you'd be able to go.
Oh yeah, go to America,
some-
over the top purchase. Can't get that.
Well,
M6.
I mean, in Australia, at some point in time, didn't we have more access to guns and stuff?
yeah,
like
but then
that?
we got rid of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
after
so
the-
you could have access
So
to
like the fifth
guns
time.
if you got a time travel machine. You could just go back to Australia like 60 years ago or something and purchase a gun and then go back to that time.
Still need ID though.
Yeah,
And
oh, true.
I don't
They're gonna
think
see like 2022
me
and they're like,
born
what?
in 2001. The year is 1957. Yeah, still works.
Imagine, yeah, you pull
Yeah.
out your original ID. Just,
See the Australian symbol right there? Yeah, yeah. 100%.
Fake ID, fake ID.
Yeah, it's like McLovin all over again.
Oh, such a good movie.
You see, he's engaged now.
Is it? Oh, yeah, I saw the NBA game. Yeah.
so cute, adorable.
I haven't
Nick
seen
loved
that,
it.
but
Well,
Have you not?
so
yeah, culture.
no, I
Joe.
haven't seen.
Oh, that's right.
the-
We watched it. Yeah.
But
Mm.
so I guess the next sort of thing is what are some movies which explore the concept of time travel? So I mean, I know Matthew would probably understand. And we were just
Yeah, I
talking about
got
it earlier.
two-
We were
yeah,
talking about
two big
Interstellar.
ones.
We were talking about Interstellar,
Yeah.
which is like, I hadn't watched it until like a couple of weeks ago, and Joe showed me, and it was like one of the best movies I've ever seen. Just
Excellent. I'm
But
happy.
yeah,
I love
especially
converting
because it's-
people to.
especially since like a lot of it is like scientifically accurate, or at
Yep.
least what we think is very accurate right now at this point in time, or at least in 2014 when
Yeah.
it came out.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time.
I'm old.
But yeah, Tenet's pretty cool.
Tenet is see
I know that's
Tenet
the other one you were gonna.
is
talk
very
about.
interesting because instead of time travel, I also wrote it here in the notes. Instead of time travel, it focuses on the concept of inversion, which is a reversal of position, order, or form. So instead of actually time traveling to the past, time flows backwards. Because have we all seen Tenet? Oh, actually, yeah,
I've seen
watched. Yeah. Well, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I've seen
I was
Tenet.
with you.
Actually, I've seen it
But
with
it
both
was so,
of you. I've
it's
seen it with
so
both of you.
hard to understand. So like
Yeah.
what time's reverse? Is that the
Yeah,
whole
so
thing?
instead
Yeah.
of like time travel, there's the alternate dimension where, because you know how they fight themselves. Remember the scene when they're in the spoiler
Airport?
alert? Yeah, they're in the airport and they fight the guys in the black costumes. They're fighting themselves.
Mm.
yeah,
But all the fight was reversed.
Yeah,
It
but
was sick.
present
Yeah,
self
so
don't know it's
because-
them.
Correct.
Yeah. So because, but the ones in the future that are reversing time know that
that it's them, and that's why they
because
didn't
it
kill
already
them.
happened, huh?
Because that's why they didn't. Because right when you rewatch it, not let's say you've seen it, right? You watch the movie, you know about what happens, and you watch it again. Like the guys in the black costumes, the future selves, they don't actually like try to kill, them because they
running
know
away.
it's them. They're,
They're
running
running
away.
away.
Whereas obviously the one in the present, they're like, oh, they're trying to kill, who are
Yeah,
these
like,
guys? We're
oh,
gonna try and kill them.
Yeah, but then like
it's interesting to see
they
that.
go back in the machine. They go back to present time. They're running away, and then like Robin Pattinson's character sees him, realizes, oh shit.
Oh, forgot about that part. I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah, he
Spoiler
quickly looks at
alert.
him.
Yeah,
If you haven't watched it, do that.
watch it. It realizes, oh shit, you're us, and then pretends that if they get away, and the entire movie you're thinking, I don't trust this Robin Pattinson character. He
Yeah.
seems sketchy. Then you realize that he's the guy that died at the very start of the movie, protecting the main character.
Yeah.
And then you find at the end. Oh, sorry if you
Bro,
haven't
these
watched.
are, no, I've watched
know,
it, but
and-
these are
and-
huge spoiler alerts.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And then remember at
people
the
do
end
not
of the
listen.
movie, he's like, "What? I forgot exactly what he says. He's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'll see you
this is
again.
this for you, this is the end. No, it's like for me, this is the end. For you, it's just the beginning.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
see
it.
You, I'll see you soon or something. Like,
You've watched it again recently, haven't you?
Oh, like a few months ago, yeah.
Yeah,
I love the
figured.
movies. Sick. Christopher Nolan, because Oppenheimer's coming out soon.
Barbie's also coming on the same
Barbie
day.
is coming out
Me,
soon.
me and my
Yeah, we're going
girlfriend.
to
Very
back to
close to
back.
my
Go
very
on.
close to my birthday as well, guys. I
Well,
think it's
well-
like check it, check the release date because if it comes out my birthday, we're seeing it for my birthday, for my
Wait.
21st birthday.
Are they on
God.
the same
We're
day? Is
pulling up in
Oppenheimer and
suits to
Barbie the
Barbie.
exact same
Yes,
day?
me and my girlfriend, we've
July.
agreed we're gonna go watch Oppenheimer, have a 2-hour break in between movie session, get lunch, then go see
Yeah,
Barbie.
yeah, same day. We're going back to back. Barbie first, Oppenheimer second.
What-
Oh,
what-
I'm-
what date-
I'm
what
doing-
date is it?
I'm
What
doing
date is it?
Oppenheimer first,
No,
then
you have
Barbie.
to go Barbie first.
You got to end it on a good note.
Yeah, Matthew,
What-
come
what-
on, man.
Wait,
Come on,
what,
mate.
what date is it?
20th of July. No, but,
2 days
no,
before.
yeah, but it still has to happen.
So can I just do it on my birthday?
No,
I mean,
no, it has to be premiere
with,
day.
with
Has to be
time
premiere
travel,
day.
it can happen.
Oh, that's
No,
true.
but
Yeah.
Matthew, Barbie has to go first.
Well, explain to me why Barbie has to go first.
So, I don't know. Like,
'Cause
often.
it's a plastic world, and plastic gets melt in nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once one way to put it. Yeah.
Done.
Don't let everybody
Yeah.
just explain it for me.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Let me mess with my girlfriend. Say I'm not gonna watch Barbie and Oppenheimer with her anymore.
I'm so hyped for Oppenheimer though, because Christopher Nolan, he's never missed on a movie. I can confidently say
And
that.
what's his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, that's it. Cillian Murphy.
Just give him the Oscar.
Oh, the
Just give him
Irish,
the Oscar.
yeah, the
Peaky
Irish dude.
Bro, Peaky Blinders was like one of the best shows I've watched. I think.
Thomas Shelby.
I think the funniest
Shelby.
thing I know about him is that he left England because he found out that his kids were getting an English accent, so he moved back to like Dublin or something because he didn't want his kids to
Okay.
have an English accent.
Yeah, well, that's so
Fair
fair.
enough.
Those posh little bars. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, but either way, like time travel is such a weird, tricky thing to say because there's something that we're probably not going to discover for in our lifetimes, let alone the next 20 lifetimes. Because I guarantee
Interesting.
you,
Do you think so?
yeah, I think so.
I think it's like.
I'd say
Not-
I mean,
'cause
with
in-
everything that's coming up now, man, like.
In order for time travel to get invented, we need something that can predate that. And my best bet, the first thing that's going to come before time travel is teleportation.
I forgot about teleportation.
Because we have to like think about it. We invent teleportation to travel us along the space in the same point, but vertically, for example. So same time space, but different location. And then we figure out time travel, which we can do any point in the past or future.
Hmm.
It's kind of like how, like, what is it? We
Yeah.
invented bikes, and then from bikes we invented cars, and then from cars we invented planes.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
saying like.
teleportation is the
in order-
prerequisite.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to that's the way to say it. Yeah. In order for us to learn how to use time travel, we have
I
to
didn't
learn how to
think that's a good.
teleport.
I actually agree with that. That
Yeah.
would make
Yeah,
sense.
but do you think that potentially with the emergence of these really smart artificial intelligence softwares, do you think it's like because like you said, the graph went like this, and as of these last 10, probably
it
20
goes
years, whoop, don't you think that potentially in our lifetimes we may discover teleportation?
I feel like in our lifetime
And
we're
time
gonna
travel
go to Mars.
from that.
In our lifetime, we're gonna have our first colonization in Mars.
I can
Or
agree with that. I'm pretty sure
or
Elon Musk is.
it's
close.
one of two
That's
things.
so cool.
We get to the point of space exploration, or we are going to actually one of three: space exploration,
Mhm.
surviving a nuclear fallout, or dying at a nuclear fallout.
Do you think that's going to happen in our lifetime?
Yeah.
How many years do you think from now?
We are in a period known as the Long Peace, the last major world conflict from World War II.
Oh, so do you think there's a pattern?
There is, oh yeah. Okay,
Because
I
I've
was saying
seen. I think I've
history
seen the
repeats
video.
itself. It's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
saying,
I
yeah.
think I've seen the video.
it's a thing. It's been so long that there has been a last major world conflict, and then everything happening in Europe, how China, India, some Middle Eastern countries are now moving their monetary currency reserves to, I think, what was it? Chinese currency.
Yeah,
Instead
yeah.
of the US currency as the national reserves, which is basically going to make the United States of America no longer the national superpower of the world. Is going to make a rivalry between that and China, that or Russia and China. You just got too many countries with big attitudes thinking they're number one, and if you put that in the same room
Too
and
patriotic. Like,
yeah, it's just going to explode. Either they'll implode or explode. And in the future that I want to live, I rather want those countries or any countries that have world-threatening consequences to implode.
So by implode, do you mean civil unrest and civil war? Is that what you mean by implode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have their thing break down by themselves. Okay, is war necessary? That could be another topic to discuss.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or
War
is,
is,
you know,
war is
even,
necessary for peace.
like,
World War II was necessary.
Hmm.
Very necessary.
necessary in the advancement of many
Exactly. Like it was
things, technology.
unfortunate. You know, once again, we're not saying it was like great, but you know,
But you know,
sometimes
I
war's
think
necessary.
you know, that could also lead back to like, is violence necessary as well? Because that kind of like
Yes.
just not
Yes.
just war but violence, and yeah, like
I think
I would
so.
agree with that. There are
Yeah.
many
I
there
feel
are many
like
reasons for that, but that can be
everything-
covered.
I think we
comes back
can
to
learn from our
violence.
Yeah.
mistakes and everything and move on and try to have a less violent society. But when push comes to shove, you're not gonna like handle a war with peace and love.
Correct.
Okay.
It eventually
Yeah, that's it.
has to come to a
I
point
mean, and-
where it's violence.
And the only reason it's peace and love is because of the threat of violence
Yes, you're trying to avoid
from
it.
the other party.
It's
So
like
you're only going to be offering something peaceful if you know, or there is a risk of being hurt in conflict.
Correct.
So you know you're going to back
there is
off.
a saying
aren't you?
actually.
You know?
I can't remember where I've heard of it, but I heard of a saying where people get confused with silence with peace or something along the
With
line.
silence and peace.
Yeah, people get
Oh yeah, because like you don't know if people are being silent because they're intimidated by the threat of violence, or they're being peaceful because they want to be peaceful.
Mm,
You know,
I'm
do people
trying-
like really? This is a good one. Like, do people come to resolutions or solutions or a peaceful negotiation because of the threat of violence?
and you two hash this out. I want to try and figure out who did that quote.
That's definitely a lot more like prevalent, like
sorry,
in men.
Can you say that one more time?
but
Sorry.
I'd say, do people come to a solution or a negotiation because of the threat of violence?
I believe
And-
absolutely.
And I think like it's definitely a lot more prevalent like in men for sure.
Mhm.
There's a lot more. There's that threat of violence if things do not go well with negotiating.
Yeah, even if it's very unlikely that that would arise, still subconsciously, the person who is perceived as weaker would be
Oh.
much more like submissive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I figured out where the quote came from. Well,
Oh no, it's gonna be from some like random obscure thing.
yeah, it's from Avengers: Age of Ultron. Confusing peace with quiet. That's where I heard of it.
Did Ultron say that?
Yeah, apparently. in the
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
Ultron's. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where
There's
that I
so many
heard that.
like there's so many cool like quotes and hidden meanings behind all these like perceivably like children
Yeah, I know that's what's interesting.
children's stories. It's like
I mean, it's still true in a way because just because the world is quiet, like I said in the long piece, it does not mean that there is peace.
yeah.
Because there are so many civil discourse unrest in the world, people who have to spend thousands of dollars for life-saving drugs, for example, insulin, like, let alone, like, I'm dying, I need insulin to survive, and I have to pay you, what, like, 10% of my annual income just for me to live?
Live, yeah.
Yeah, and they only makes $5 to make, but I got to pay $35,000? How does that make any sense?
But I guess yeah, everything here, like you said earlier, like everything leads back to violence, and so
100%.
you know, if you don't come to some sort of negotiation, you know, the world would be at war all the time.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
time?
all the time.
Yeah,
And as
literally
much
all the
as like
time.
we know that what certain countries are doing are wrong, and we'd love to, you know, stop what they're doing and things like that. We don't want to risk that. That we don't want to initiate that threat of violence and that threat of war. So we decide to make peace.
It's
And, you
kind
know,
of
and there's always that underlying threat. There's
Yeah.
always that.
Always.
Because if that wasn't there, then there would be no I guess there would be no point in I guess coming to a solution to things. You know what I
Exactly. It
mean?
would just be pure domination and like conquer.
Yeah.
A conquest, sorry.
I
Yeah.
think what you guys are saying is like appeasement. Have you guys heard of
Oh,
What is
that?
appeasement?
Appeasement.
Appeasement is basically a military tactics that the Allies used in World War II, or before World War II, and Hitler was like, "Oh, can I have the border, the outer area of Czechoslovakia because there's ethnic Germans living in those regions?" And Britain and like France were like, "Okay, you can have that, but nothing more." And then like, "Oh, I also want this thing," like Nazi Germany. "Oh, you can have that, but nothing more. I want also this." Okay, last thing. And I kept asking, and I kept taking and taking. And that's like why they fucking got away with so much. And that's how like they
So
developed
which country was this?
Nazi Germany.
Oh yeah.
Because it was basically, yeah, they gave territory from like Czechoslovakia to Germany without inviting the people of Czechoslovakia or the president. So they were like, wait, hang on, you're giving away my land and I'm not invited to this meeting? So yeah,
Yeah.
You can have this land, but that's it. And then like the last straw was Poland, and they
Why
said
did they give that land away again?
because Hitler was saying that there's like basically 95% of ethnic Germans living in those area, so they should be German in German lands.
Oh.
And then like
Or as a Hall of Fame manipulator.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it got to the point where Poland was the last one where it's like, I want Poland. No, you won't have Poland. And doing that is going to mean war. And then Nazi Germany was like, okay, hey, USSR, we'll go half each on this. Yeah, okay. Bam.
War.
Pincer attack.
Mm-hmm.
Start of World War II. What can I say?
Yeah.
Well, we've definitely veered off from time travel, but I mean we're talking about history, so it's still
Yeah,
within
exactly.
that
It
topic.
still relates.
But
We're
it
talking
is
about the
just
past.
hit an hour and 1 minute.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I believe,
any
unless
final comments?
anybody has anything else to talk about, we may be wrapping up this episode.
Yeah. Easy.
Joe, is there anything else you would like to talk about? Because it seems like you do.
I would just like to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I personally believe also in regards to ethics of time travel, that time travel would devalue decision making and
100%.
life essentially. Because if everything you do, if everything you do could be reverted or changed or whatever, then it's just, it's lost value because it can just be changed.
Exactly. It's kind
Let's
of
not
like
put that out there.
reloading a save file from a video game.
Correct. Whatever you do after that save file isn't valuable because you can just revert it.
It's kind of like those permadeath run games that you can't, like, one save, you can't reload. If you die in a video
So
game,
obviously,
it
your
deletes the
decisions
save
are a
file.
lot more valuable because you've only
correct,
got one
because
shot.
Exactly. Whereas
Exactly.
it's like in Skyrim.
Yeah, one
In
shot.
Skyrim, you just save and you just reload it over and over again.
You just reload until you keep doing that
I
still
abuse
check.
that. Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of like why I love D&D. Going back to that, because it's not something like you can reload. Oh, can I do that again? Nah.
It's like, you
Bad
only got
idea.
one opportunity.
You got one chance. Can I persuade the shopkeeper for a discount? Roll for it. You get it. You get it. You don't. You don't. You move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. Yo.
Yo. Oh my god.
Yo.
And okay. Big Joe. I was about to call you BJ for Big Joe. That's
Hold
not-
on, hold
What are
on
you
there
doing?
now.
Big Joe.
There's a reason why they call me that. You
Oh no. Is there any last?
know, Matthew. Anyway, sorry, no, go on,
Whoa.
go on, go on. No.
Hold on there.
Who said that? Who the fuck said that?
Is there any last comment, question, statement that you want to say before we end it off?
I would like to say that, well, once again, it's great to be back on the podcast with the boys all
100%.
again.
Yeah.
But also with the time travel thing, I think that, yeah, like overall, I think it shouldn't be fucked with.
So you
Yeah,
say it's
I think live in the present, people. Live your life as it is.
So I'll ask you this question: would it be ethical, unethical, or neutral if time travel were possible?
My opinion, unethical.
Unethical and Little Joe?
Unethical.
Unethical. I stand in the middle ground. I think it's neutral.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that as well. I
It depends on how
argue
you
with
use
that.
it.
understand it, but I think, like, truly, when if we start discovering it and we start exploring it, we don't really know fully about it until we do it. It's like space exploration. We don't really know fully about space until we explore that certain area.
I mean,
So exploring it in the first place, in my mind, without knowing all the repercussions of doing it, is unethical, in my opinion.
we figured out the Big Bang is a myth now.
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
We discovered galaxies that are just as old as as our universe or galaxy or whatever, or just as old, if not older.
Dude, this is crazy to me.
I
Like,
love
and
space.
because
I'm
was
so
and the
it
crazy
the-
part is
the
that there's going to be so
Hubble
many
telescope?
unexplored things, and we're going to be gone
Yeah,
Right.
and
unless we discover like
aliens.
Immortality.
immortality. Yeah, aliens.
Which we will.
Yeah, like
We
it'd be
will.
something if aliens come down, then they'll be like worth living in our lifetime. But like, yeah, what was it the Hubble telescope or something?
Yes,
Or one of the new
yes.
telescopes that they recently built. They discovered 5 new galaxies that are just as old as ours, if not older.
Pretty
That
sick.
completely
That's insane.
disproves the theory of the Big Bang. So yeah,
The TV show's a lie.
the TV
I'm
show
joking.
is.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's why it's called the Big Bang Theory, not the Big
Ah.
Bang.
Good point. Good point.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go,
Think,
atheists.
boys, think.
But either way, I would say it's neutral. But either way, I think we'll wrap it up there. So
Yeah,
I will
yes.
say to the viewers and watchers, thank you so much for listening and tuning in this episode of the podcast of the Clarity Conference, episode 14.
Episode
sir.
14, we've made it here after a long struggle, but we're here.
Yeah, hopefully
Um,
better furniture as like
We're getting
Soon. We'll
yeah,
get there.
From
I
first
will-
episode to this, you can definitely see there is an improvement in our setup.
way more. Look, we've even got like a thick chessboard
Beautiful
now.
chessboard.
Like, how cool is that? We've got this naked man on our wall now.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Imagine
you-
the listener's perspective.
Yeah,
Naked man on our wall.
for Twitch and YouTube monitors, he's not naked.
Yeah.
It's art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
it's-
you mean Spotify and like listeners?
Well, for
Oh,
viewers.
you mean
Like
oh,
the
you mean
moder- like the
the
yeah,
moderators? Yeah.
But either
Yeah, no,
way,
it's not an actual naked man pinned to our wall.
yes, it's Da Vinci's power of fiction.
I think it's time we
Whoa,
end
whoa,
it.
it's a painting of a man pinned to our wall.
Joe, little Joe, do you hear that? I hear Big Joe digging a deeper hole for himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But either way, thank you so much for paying attention.
You mean I'm digging a hole for 3 people, not just me?
Oh no,
No, not really.
no! I think what's gonna happen.
Hey, I'm
gonna do
affecting the whole podcast here.
I'm gonna do a scandal. I do an apology video, and then I leave the podcast, and then you guys do something bad yourselves.
Damn. Fair,
Yeah.
No, fair enough. All right.
But
No,
either
at
way,
least Joe will stick with me. He'll go down with me.
we just change it to the Clarity
going, I'm
Conference
just-
to the average Joe's viewing or podcast.
Yeah.
The average Joes. But yeah, either way, thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode of the podcast. For more future content and past episodes, be sure to check our Instagram on instagram.com/the.clarityconference. There you can see little tidbits behind the scenes and links which you can go onto our Podbean to see what was it, Big Joe?
Well, okay, so pretty much on the Instagram profile, we've got like the website link, so you can go straight there, and then there you can go and listen to all of our podcasts from there. It's got Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, links,
Everything.
YouTube,
Twitch.
Twitch is just for live things,
Pornhub.
obviously, and little clips that people save because they're assholes. And and also it's now
That,
we're on Pornhub.
and
No, I'm
that,
kidding.
yeah.
No,
And
okay,
that.
okay. Don't go searching the Clarity Conference on
Please,
Pornhub.
please, guys.
No, guys, please. Please.
We'll do a Belle Delphine and we'll just clickbait the internet.
And give people our bathwater.
Hold on there, mate.
Okay.
I think it's
Check
time.
out the
It's
Clarity
time.
Conference.
So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your
Viewership.
viewership. That's the word. And yeah,
Easy. We'll see you for the next episode, guys.
it's episode 15 coming up.
All right.
Okay.
We cooking. We cooking.
Adios, amigos.
Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode of the Clarity Conference. If you want to check out other episodes for further discussions, be sure to check out all major streaming platforms such as Amazon Audible, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. If you wish to be updated on future episode scheduling and behind-the-scenes content with day-to-day posting, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the.clarityconference. Once again, thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you again. Need I say more?